Is an MCA debt settlement the best option for you? If it isn't, what is and what other options are on the table? I'll be uncovering all of the details, showing you exactly how to get started and more. But before I do, welcome in. If it's your first time, my name is Michael with Viral Funding Solutions, and I've been a business funding expert, a business loan broker expert for some time now, and I can give you a great deal of perspective when it comes to this and many other services: credit, cash flow, collateral, liquidity, equity. I've been around for some time, and what most people will tell you about me, those who work with me, those who I decide I want to take them on, is it's who I am and why I am the way I am. What I know and how I know how to execute, it's one thing, but I care about people. It's people over profits for me. I won't overpromise and underdeliver. I look at character, characteristic traits, loyalty, integrity. What are your values, your vision, your mission, your morals, your ethics? A lot of that I really do care for and I look out for. I'm a very introverted type, much more the analytical, cerebral type. It's hard for me to make a video like this, it really is. But I think this would serve you a lot and what you're not getting anywhere else. And you also have to be careful of what you hear out there and what you're led to believe, going to the wrong source, organization. And there's just a lot of stuff on this end you have to be careful about. I do things ethically and I'll guide you in the right direction. I'll leave more material down below in the description so you can get the full extent of everything that I'm going to cover today. And I'll leave a questionnaire form that you can fill out, get in contact. And what I can do is analyze, understand it better, and send you an email with the proper response back, giving you additional resources if so, and guidance. It's really energy and time effective. So a debt settlement, there are many ways that people can go about this, or certain ways. And oftentimes what you see is you want to settle for less. And what you're brought to know is, as or in your business, what'll be asked for is to put funds into an escrow account and let that mature, let that age for a couple of months, several months, until an offer of a lump sum can be given to the lender, if that makes sense. And so what'll happen is it'll be in this escrow account, it'll develop, it'll mature over several months, and an arrangement and all of this with the lender, negotiation if so, and so much more of that on the back end you're not seeing. And what gets done from there in that escrow account, that'll pay the lender. The problem with it is when you are delinquent, you are missing a payment or two. If you are in collections, you're already in default, been reported to collections, that can cause issues because you are likely not able to pay the lender and put money into that escrow account. And so what your lender will get, if anything, is pretty much not going to be there. And if it is there, is it what they were wanting? Is it the right offer? How much on the dollar is that offer and what it's worth to them? And so if you're already behind on your payment or payments, you have multiple MCAs, that can cause a lot of issues. And if you're not paying more than one lender, whatever the total balance remaining you have, whatever the original amount is, whatever the modification you receive, the reconciliation, or whatever has happened, those lenders still want to get a portion, if not more. So you also have to understand their point of view, a portion, or to what extent is more, and what does that mean to them, if not everything. So that's one way to look at it. And what you have to be careful of is you can hear where people say, hey, let's put this into an escrow account. And what if the lender's not getting paid? What if something is not going to the lender? Instead, that company that you went to is paying themselves. Instead, they're taking the funds in that account and they're paying themselves. They're taking a payday for the business, part of their salary, or whatever it is. So you have to be cautious of these things. Yes, the escrow part exists. There are certain reasons, limitations. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself because I can go so much more in detail with an escrow account, but I'm going to leave it as it is. And there are many more ways that I could have defined, many other ways that I could have been specific, but I'm going to leave it at that for now. And it's the lesser of the other options that I recommend, which I'll get into here in just a second. So a settlement isn't the best unless it's absolutely necessary. There is no other way out there, and I'll cover some of these again. And the problem with the settlement, it could cause credit issues. It could cause business and personal credit issues, potential. And so you have to be understanding of the repercussions for going through a settlement that can cause a setback before any other type of funding or ongoing funding is acquired, and how much time has elapsed before getting another type of funding if it's not an MCA or an MCA. And so those are the things to be careful of. There's a lot of stuff out there. Lenders have communication with one another and all of this stuff in terms of how they can understand what a client's been borrowing, what's their past history been like, and just a lot of stuff that they already understand in different modes, different ways of that communication, how they're able to gather that information a lot of the time. So that's one way to do it. Not my primary option unless it's absolutely necessary. And the pain of sticking with an MCA or multiple MCAs has gone far beyond like, hey, I'm trying to do whatever I can now to completely remove this. I don't want to have to lower my payment with my MCA provider or providers. I've already done it for a couple of months or so until I went back up. They dropped it 50% of the way, and then now I'm back. I've had to make stop payments to my account. Like a lot of these things you have to look out for, and there are many more things that I haven't even covered, and what I've seen and what I've tried to help people through understand like what is their best option. And so the one that I recommend is a debt restructure. This is where there is a modification and being able to reduce payments by 50 to 75% on average, more or less. And look at it like a total amount of MCA debt that you have, like 100,000 combined over 3. And if you're exhausting 30 to 40,000 a month, and I know those payments are different regularly or don't see them at all monthly. So on a calculation basis and on your cash flow, will determining, first of all, how much MCA debt there is, or an MCA like factored product, loan, etc., whatever state it's classified as a loan, not an MCA. Then you start to think about, okay, how can I reduce, if it's 30 to 40,000 right now going on in monthly payments, by 50 to 75%, more or less, trying to drop that down to about 15 to 20,000, much more of a manageable type of payment. And then you have to look at, how are you currently making your payments? Are your payments on time? How many payments are you missing? Cash flow, with a cash flow analysis, that is what will be done. And looking at your average balances, average daily balances, and just a whole lot more. I can spend a whole different video going over a lot of that because I've looked at a lot of different cases and scenarios based upon revenue for different services, understanding how to read financials, also for different services, bank statement reviews when necessary and needed, and just a whole lot more. My thing is much more mathematical, system oriented mind. That's how I've been, not much of a talker. And so restructuring by dropping and reducing payments is a much more quote unquote affordable way to do this than having to go through a settlement and having one manageable payment that is reduced to a weekly or a daily, could be monthly, could be bi-weekly, and it's just what's in the best interest for you and how you can make those payments. So not having to exhaust your cash flow day after day. If something comes in the same day and it goes out and you have no cash flow, it's not as predictable. Your future cash flow projections and assumptions are not well. You're hitting a season right now where you're low on revenue, or you're highest priced product, the one that's in most demand, is not getting the most attention for new customers, and your old customers are not buying enough from you. There's a lot of things that happen. You can't invest in the inventory, equipment. I can go on and on. Customer acquisition costs are way too high. Your average order value, average order cart value, just a lot of things you have to be cautious of when you're out there spending, especially in marketing and advertising. You want to be cautious of. So restructuring is the way to go. I can go so much more deeper into this topic, but again, down below, I'll leave my questionnaire form and more details. I have a document that I can share with you that'll cover even more in depth. I've made content in the past about debt restructuring, settlement. I'll try to link you to that down below as well. But go ahead and check out that form, check out the document if it's still there, unless I send it to you later, if I have it still that way, that you can learn more from me and understand just what it takes in different scenarios with invoices, with major retailers. How would it work with this? But dropping and reducing the payment without having to go through a settlement. And in most cases, the restructuring doesn't affect credit. MCAs doesn't already show on credit reports as it is, and I'm sure you're well aware of that. But it's just understanding what implications there are if you're not making payments with your current providers. Will they report this to their business side, or your business side, the personal side, a combination of the two, and collections and default? Once you get through all that, it can appear in several ways or in one way. And so the thing with the restructuring, you get an attorney-led debt restructuring team and a specialty law firm that I can connect you with, and an organization that can connect you with as well with all of this, and really help your scenario, understand the negotiations, the restructuring, the modification, so you don't have to do it all on your own. And when you start doing it on your own, you can incur more fees, or you don't know what you're doing and what you're spending on, if you're getting the right team involved, the right procedure. That's also most important, is the procedure, the steps to doing this, and getting a payment analyst team and a person to help you with this, an attorney-led debt restructuring team that has a lot of years of experience. And if you want the very best, I can help you with this. And again, what you're attaching to is a person. And I want you to know that it's not short-term transaction for me. I really do care. I run multiple businesses, and as an entrepreneur, I have your best interest at heart. I truly do. So that's what I would do. And then trying to do a consolidation, like after you've graduated, after you've completed what you needed to complete. If you needed to get away from your MCAs, it's best, and you shouldn't be taking any MCAs through your restructuring process. And post-graduate, or just graduating, could say, if you're trying to get like into a bank term loan, an FDIC bank, a line of credit, an SBA, now that option is open because of cash flow, profitability, credit, and other reasons. That I can help you out with too. And I can send you more information in time as well with that. So that's all I will mention right now. There are many more details, qualifications for this. It's very simple, and hassle-free, I would say. So if you want to learn more about the restructuring and so forth, go ahead and look down below in the description and or in the comment section. I'll have a form and or document. Usually it's a form to go through. And I'll leave my email as well. You can reach out like others have reached out to me. And I can send you more details also via email. Make it very energy and time efficient for you. I'm very ethical in what I do, very energy and time efficient. And I hope to be able to help you, because I know how these MCAs can be. Something happens where you no longer need them, but you can't pay them off quick enough. Something stalled, you needed an extra permit, or just to start a permit, something that wasn't explained, or there's a lot of things that can happen. Sometimes it's used for the best and you do it right. You get another one, it doesn't. There's so many things. So that's all I wanted to mention in this video. Go ahead and look down below in the description and or in the comments. And if you again want to work not only with an expert, but somebody who first as a person and as a human being, and an introverted person, doesn't talk much as it is, but I do all this right here, and I do make sure that this does the talking for me. So that's all for now. Take care.